Hello, welcome to this new video. It has been a while since I posted something, not that I was not busy, but yeah, I had some other kinds of projects ongoing. So today we're gonna talk, I will introduce you and we're gonna build one. I'm going to talk about the T-computer. In fact, I have to tell you first something about the history of it. Something like 6 months ago, I was contacted by somebody who created this nice project called the P computer. It's a little computer with a small LCD screen and it's based on the Raspberry Pi Pico. He contacted me, his name is Peter Tinko. He contacted me and he wanted me to port the MCU project to his platform, which I did. And while we were discussing, I was also busy, in fact, to port the MCU already on the Raspberry Pi Pico using the VGA output. So while discussing, we thought it would be also nice to have a version which could have a full keyboard and also a VGA output. And then you could run some of the emulator. Of course, the limitation here is the Raspberry Pi Pico. So these are the two things he created. I love that one very much. It's very nice system having these two PCBs on top of each other. It's a very nice system that he invented. But yeah, while we were discussing together, I wanted him to also try something with the Teensy. You know, the Teensy MCU are in fact my favorite microcontroller. And we ended up actually with this prototype. So the advantage of the Teensy is that first of all it's more powerful. It has VGA output, it has USB, which the Raspberry Pico one had not. I had the sound output. It has a keyboard slightly bigger because it has actually 42 keys, so it has 7x6 matrix, and yeah, you can also connect to it a small display, and then you can also use it as a portable. So this version is actually the second version. The first version was actually a prototype that I did some time ago, around Christmas. The PCB was actually edged by myself. Slightly different, but the functionality was already there. And yeah, this version is using PT8211 for the audio, like the Teensy crew is often using. It's quite cheap DAC for Teensy. So the Teensy 2.1 has the SD card, and you can just connect it to a VGA screen. This one is running on battery, so you can switch it on. And the idea is that you have actually the complete MCU project running. So for example, Commodore 64 is there running. I did not connect the sound, but the idea is that you have a full keyboard, so you can actually type really a full program if you want. Yeah. On the C64 you have to choose the right keys, but everything is labeled there. Just to show you the full functionality of the keyboard, that you can actually I don't have my glass, so sorry for this. Voilà, so you can really use it as a mini computer. It has the VGA output. It's powered by a battery. If you don't want to use the VGA, you connect the screen and then you can use it standalone without needing any additional wiring. So that was the version 2, and today I actually received, to be careful that I don't switch it on, keep it off. So you can also of course connect USB. I can have a separate demo about this, but the idea today is that we are going to build the new version, the new revision, I just received this morning the PCB from Acer. This is the version 3, not that much difference from the ones you had in front of you, but the idea is that I show how to build it together. Normally this one has the screen slightly higher. I also have put another connector to connect a different type of display. So this is an ST display. It's, I forgot 7789 only, so 320/240. But you can also connect through this connector. You can connect a bigger, slightly bigger display, an LED display. So it's up to you to choose what you want. So okay, the idea is that we build it together. So yeah, let's get right to it. I have here the PCB. The display we won't need immediately. I have the connectors for things. I have the audio jack. I have here some LED, some header pins, the USB connector, two knobs which are slightly bigger, which I use for the user keys, two user keys on this design, some 47 microfarad capacitors, lots of SMDs, resistors, that mainly for the VGA output, and of course the TINC. I'm going to solder directly the chip on the board. I don't advise you to do that. I have in fact already used that TINC in another prototype. I had a lot of difficulties to remove it and to desolder from the board. So I don't advise to do that. You better use these types of header pin. But yeah, because I have already used that TINC, I'm going to just solder it. It will make it as flat as possible, and that's what I wanted actually to try. And I'm going to use these types of header pin. Maybe I have to make them a little bit higher, but we will see how it goes. We'll just try it out. So I'm gonna speed up everything. You can find the values for the resistors. In fact, everything is indicated on the PCB, so only the polarity of the capacitors I forgot, but actually normally for these capacitors the black line is the minus, so this will be the ground, and this is going to this will be the ground on top, going to the sound output. And of course I forgot, you will need a lot of small knobs, small keys, small switches that you will have to solder, and that will be the biggest part of the project. I will start by connecting the direction keys, and in fact 3 keys which I use as 3 buttons that can be used simultaneously. The use keys I will not solder immediately, and I will solder TINC and the VGA and all the resistors that are needed for the VGA output. Then we can test first the VGA output. So let's start.